Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, the month of July started with 6 Supreme Court justices violating the Constitution by bestowing immunity on a criminal former president of the United States. And the month of July ended with that same criminal former president stating that if he's elected in November, no one will ever have to vote again. No one will ever get to vote again. Friends, you don't often hear me say this about Donald Trump, but believe him. Here is a brief recap of the legal stories for the month that was July 2024. So friends, the Supreme Court just conjured up absolute presidential immunity right out of thin air. So yes, things are dark on the democracy front at this moment, but we're going to talk about the silver lining, how and why there's still hope. You know, with one opinion, the Supreme Court has converted the United States of America into a sort of banana republic in the making. You know, friends, it's interesting how the Supreme Court bends over backwards and ignores the Constitution to help, to come to the aid of, to rescue Donald Trump, but they let his criminal flunkies twist in the wind and slouch off to prison, one after another. So friends, the Supreme Court may have thrown Donald Trump a lifeline. They may have given him a way to wiggle out of criminal responsibility for some of the crimes he committed against the American people. But in the process, they gave President Joe Biden a powerful tool to protect American democracy. So friends, shortly after the Supreme Court granted him absolute presidential immunity, Donald Trump endorsed the use of military tribunals to prosecute the enemies of American democracy. In other words, if somebody, say, used violence to try to overthrow American democracy, that person could be prosecuted by a military tribunal. Let's talk about that. So friends, months ago, Special Counsel Jack Smith filed motions in Donald Trump's criminal case down in Florida. That's the one where he is indicted for unlawfully retaining classified documents, obstructing justice, and violating our nation's espionage laws. And Trump-appointed Judge Aileen Cannon has steadfastly refused to rule on many of those motions. But now, yesterday, Donald Trump's lawyers filed a motion demanding that Judge Cannon pause the case, put a stop to certain deadlines. And today, not 24 hours later, Judge Aileen Cannon rules and gives Donald Trump exactly what he wants. Friends, the fix is in. So friends, Donald Trump's extreme right-wing Supreme Court justices didn't just give him absolute presidential immunity. No, they actually gave him absolute presidential immunity plus. What's the plus? Let's talk about that. Okay, friends, there's some new reporting on how Donald Trump's lawyers are planning to go scorched earth on D.C. Federal District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan, who has been tasked with holding evidentiary hearings into Donald Trump's democracy-busting January 6th crimes. And Trump's lawyers, get this, are going to try to stop Judge Chutkan from holding those hearings in advance of the November election. They, period, will, period, fail, period. Well, friends, it's becoming pretty clear why Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has been working overtime to help Donald Trump return to power. Because it looks like he, Clarence Thomas, might be needing one of those Trump pardons in the not-too-distant future. So friends, the New York Times editorial board just published a 6-word headline. And the way I see it, I don't know that 6 truer or more important words have ever been published. Donald Trump is unfit to lead. So friends, Rudy Giuliani can't even do bankruptcy right. And her upcoming book, which literally couldn't be more timely given what we are now contending with in the aftermath of this new Supreme Court opinion. And it is titled Pardon Power, How the Pardon System Works and Why, and it will be out on September 2nd. So with that, let me welcome our friend Kim back to Justice Matters.
Great to be here, Glenn. Always such a pleasure to talk to you and to your listeners.
So friends, let me state the obvious. Political violence is not the answer. And where does that leave us as a nation, as a democracy, as a government? What say you about all of that?
Yeah, I mean, you and I talked about this. The pardon power is the shotgun in the closet to basically effectuate this Oval Office crime spree that has just been greenlighted by the United States Supreme Court.
Well, friends, Trump-appointed Judge Aileen Cannon just dismissed the case in which Donald Trump is being prosecuted for illegally retaining classified information, obstructing justice, and violating our nation's espionage laws. And the dismissal may turn out to be the best thing that has yet happened to that case. Well, friends, that didn't take long. Within hours of Trump-appointed Judge Aileen Cannon dismissing Donald Trump's criminal prosecution down in Florida for unlawfully retaining classified documents, obstructing justice, and violating our nation's espionage laws, within hours of that dismissal, Special Counsel Jack Smith's office issued a statement saying, "We will be appealing the dismissal." So friends, given some new reporting, we just learned that President Biden is poised to make an announcement about trying to deal with the rot at the top, trying to fix what's broken on the Supreme Court. So friends, watching even just a little bit of the Republican convention, one thing is crystal clear. Donald Trump's Republican Party is the pro-crime party. So friends, Judge Aileen Cannon's dismissal of Donald Trump's classified documents case might end up helping Hunter Biden? Okay, I didn't have that one on my bingo card. Let's just take on now, is there some hope? Is there a silver lining? Where are we and what should we be doing moving forward? And I have a feeling it's going to have a little something to do with voting.
Oh, yeah. You talked about my books. The first one was How to Read the Constitution. Why? Get on the Constitution bike. It breaks it down so you can answer these questions yourself. It was writing that book that's caused me to realize, even I've been teaching constitutional law for 15, 17 years. It's the ballot box, friends. The whole kit and caboodle, everything, the whole constitutional system, it all comes down to we the people. It all comes down to that ballot box.
Well, friends, as we thank President Joe Biden for bringing our country back after the horrific Trump years, we now look to the future. It's time to unify. It's time to rally. Let's get this party started. So friends, in my opinion, Kamala Harris is the right person for this moment and the right person for this opponent. Well, friends, it looks like yet another Donald Trump flunky is going from the frying pan into the fire. Steve Bannon, going from federal prison and upon his release, headed right back to court for another criminal prosecution. You know, friends, it's looking more and more likely that come September 18th, Donald Trump might actually be sentenced in his New York criminal case on his 34 felony convictions. So friends, Donald Trump just told us again what he intends to do to American democracy. He's letting us know he is an aspiring dictator. For gosh sakes, believe him. So friends, as you well know, Donald Trump's corrupt Supreme Court justices tried to put American presidents above the law. Well, President Joe Biden just said, not so fast. Let's talk about that, because justice matters.
It's for sure.